Today, I'm going to show you how I make my crustless air fryer quiche. I use spinach, feta, and cheddar cheese. Obviously, you can use other ingredients such as ham and cheese or classic broccoli, mushrooms, and the list goes on. This recipe is also low carb and diabetic friendly as it has no crust. As with most of my recipes, I'm going to be using my Ninja Foodi multi-cooker to make this quiche, but you can use any air fryer that you own. So you just want to make sure that the spinach is nice and clean. You can use 1 to 2 cups depending on how much spinach you like. I think I'm going to get about 1 cup from this, and we're just going to pat the leaves dry to make sure our crustless quiche doesn't end up getting soggy. I'm cleaning the tomatoes as well, and you're going to require for this recipe about 8 to 10 cherry tomatoes. We're just going to cut this in the middle. And then you just want to grease an oven-proof dish with butter or margarine. I'm using a tin that's suitable for using the Ninja Foodi, and I'm going to link it in the description box for you guys in case you're interested. And there's a mat at the bottom, so I'm not going to be greasing the bottom of the tin. You're also going to need an onion, half of a small onion. Mine is a bit big, so I'm only going to be using a quarter of it. And I'm just going to peel this and dice it. You'll also require 2 cloves of garlic. So I'm just going to peel this quickly. You can use more if you like. I find 2 to give the quiche a nice flavor. So I'm just going to mince this. I'm using this mincer, which I really love. I'm going to heat up a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm using the inner pot that comes with my Ninja Foodi, but you can do this in a regular pan if your air fryer doesn't have a saute function. We're just going to saute the onion and garlic until translucent. Add the spinach. You just want the spinach to wilt, and then we're just going to set this aside. Depending on how watery your spinach is, you may need to drain excess water. I'm just going to transfer the spinach to a bowl. Preheat your air fryer at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's approximately 180 for those in the UK or countries that use Celsius. And we're just going to preheat it for 5 minutes. And while the air fryer is preheating, we can then proceed on with the other steps. So we're just going to whisk eggs. I'm using 5 eggs here. To the bowl with the eggs, you're just going to add the creme fraiche, 2/3 of a cup, so approximately 200 grams. And here you can also use milk, heavy cream, or half and half. Just go for what you like, but I personally prefer the creme fraiche as it adds an airiness and fluffiness to the quiche. A pinch of pepper or more to taste. And some nutmeg. We only need about a pinch or so, not too much. I'm using fresh nutmeg, but you can also use a pinch of ground nutmeg. And I'm just going to give this a good whisk. I'm then going to crumble in feta cheese. You'll need 85 grams or about 3 ounces. You can also use slightly more. Anything to 100 grams should be okay. And we're just going to crumble this inside the butter. And then we're just going to fold in the cooked spinach. Pour the quiche mixture into the prepared dish. Top with the cherry tomatoes and cheddar cheese. And we're just going to air fry this. You will know your quiche is done when it turns golden to brown on top, and a skewer or toothpick inserted in the middle should come out mostly clean with just a little bit of egg custard clinging or sticking on top of it. And to prevent the crustless quiche from turning brown too quickly while in the air fryer, you just want to cover it with foil paper. And I'm going to poke about 3 holes at the top just to let out the steam. So it's air frying and not steaming. And you then want to air fry your crustless quiche for 30 to 45 minutes. If you would like your quiche to bake faster, then you can divide it into ramekins where it'll take anything between 14 to 16 minutes. So I'm just going to check on this. We are at about the 18th minute mark. I'm just taking a small peek. I'm not even going to open it up. And it's basically wet. It needs to cook longer. You then want to remove the quiche from the air fryer and allow it to rest for about 10 minutes. This allows for easier slicing later. I ended up air frying my quiche for 50 minutes, and that's mainly because of the tin I'm using. So the thing is, the shallower the tin, the less time you'll require to air fry, and the deeper the dish, such as what I use for this recipe, the longer it'll take. Also, obviously, the more eggs you use, the longer it'll take. We use 5 eggs for this recipe, but you can also use 3 to 4 eggs. That's also totally okay. So if you notice that your quiche is mostly cooked through on the outside and only slightly soggy in the middle, simply switch off your air fryer and leave the quiche inside the air fryer to cook with the heat inside the air fryer so it sets. You can also leave it in the oven if you prefer on very low heat to set. As always, I'll link to the recipe in the description box. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new to my channel, kindly don't forget to subscribe as well as click on the notification button so you get notified each time I upload a new video. I'm glad you stopped by, and until next time, bye bye.